Look at that, priced at 190. When the sheets came out, it had been downgraded to 190, and look where it went, straight to 190. I mean, how awesome is that? Hello everybody, my name is Thor Young. I'm a moderator at Bear Bull Traders, and I'd like to do a recap for you on my trade today. Now, I say trade because I only took one trade today, got a nice one and done today, which has been a little while. The market has been a little choppy lately, and I've really been having trouble isolating. Now, over the past few recaps, one thing I've really talked a lot about is how I was really just starting to dial into my pivot strategies because I felt like I was just being overwhelmed by too many different places to look for entry locations. So I decided to simplify. And in my last YouTube video that I did was talking about how I simplified my trading by removing some various items from my chart. So now today, I thought it would be kind of fun to start talking about the Camarilla strategies themselves. I've talked a lot about pivots. I'd like to talk a little bit more about how to trade them. Before I get into that, if you could, go ahead and throw me a like. I'd appreciate that. Also, subscribe to the channel and ring that bell. The first Camarilla strategy I'm going to be starting with is one that I used today for a beautiful breakdown on Roku. I got about an $8 move out of it, which was absolutely fantastic, but actually missed a huge move. Like, it ended up being really huge. So let's go on to the trade. All right, so as you can see here on Roku, we're talking about the S4 breakdown. So if you look at my lower, actually we'll stay up on my top chart here. I'm just going to modify it to a 15-minute chart. So one thing you can see with a 15-minute chart is that we have all of these cam structures are lower and lower and lower, but something is very, very unique about the cam structure on Roku here today, which is it is incredibly narrow, right? Seeing that this structure is so tight gives what I call an outside day. Previously I talked about an inside day. This is an outside day. Now, other people define this, actually, funny enough, as an outside day because the prior day is outside the range. I never got that. So this is the way I define this. Since the camera structure is very tight, I'm not expecting the price to stay within the range. Therefore, I call it an outside day. When you have an outside day, the main strategies you're going to be using from the pivot strategies are either the fourth level breakouts or the third level traverses across the range. So in this instance, Roku found itself opening down near S4. So with that structure being near S4, right, on a breakout day, I'm going to look for an S4 breakdown. So back to a 1-minute chart, now you can see what happened. So Roku squeezed and then actually made a move down really heavy on the first candle. It pulled back, and as it pulled back, it pulled to VWAP. So it was called out, actually, by one of the members in the chat, was called out that it was crossing S4. So I flipped over to it, and I saw it pull back and hold VWAP. This gave me a very unique opportunity on Roku. Roku has a very, very wide spread, and it is very difficult to get good risk locations. But since it retested VWAP, I decided I would go ahead and use the average price. So I went short, and I used the average price, which was about a 50-cent risk on a stock that often runs a 70-cent spread, especially during the open. So it was just a really, really great entry. And then I ended up getting a beautiful move off of this. I mean, it was almost 6-1 before I even took my first partial, which I took half off. So I made a few hundred just on my first my first partial. Took another about $1.50 off there, and then I held for a little bit longer, and I got more partials down on Roku, and then I decided I'd add on my last 10%, and then I decided to go ahead, I'd go ahead and take it off, and actually maintain a little bit of profit because the spread was getting a little wide, and I didn't want to lose any money on there because I was really happy being around a 5R day. So, and that ended my day today. I actually closed out at 5R. Now, the problem with this today, and it's something that I'm going to have to evaluate, because remember, I always try and talk about the bad along with the good. It's I got this beautiful S4 breakdown, but on a tight pivot structure on an S4 breakdown with catalyst like Roku has today, a large breakdown can be expected. And as you see here, we ended up just getting an absolutely beautiful breakdown through all I mean, it's still going down. I know there's going to be a recap that's going to come out later today. Going to be by Ed Martin, our average Joe trader, who has just been absolutely killing it since he's been here at BBT. He is still in Roku right now because he's a much better trend trader than I am. I am an order flow trader, but I tend to start to fizzle when the momentum dries out. Ed's much better at those longer term holds. Make sure you're checking out his videos if you want to get better at that. I know I have been later. If I hadn't have done this ad, my average price was way up here. I should have waited for it to come all the way back to VWAP and then tested VWAP, and then I could have added off of VWAP a little bit tighter area, or just held in and just set my last bid on a trail and just held it down for some crazy. But look at that, priced at 190. When the sheets came out, it had been downgraded to 190, and look where it went, straight to 190. I mean, how awesome is that? So anyway, this is my trade on Roku. I hope you guys enjoyed it today. The beauty of the S4 breakdown and how far that thing can go is really awesome. Here, we're snapped away. We're in search of new value. I hope everyone had a great trading day. Look forward to Ed's recap later, and I hope everyone has a good one. Thanks all.